What's going on? What's going on? Brutus here with your next Brutally Honest episode. And you can tell by the title, I have none other than Adam from Time2Clash. What's going on, man?
I'm great. What about yourself?
I'm doing G-double-O-D good. You know why I'm laughing, because you've heard what's going on in my background, but let's not digress too much. It's not a calm place where I'm at, but it's much calmer where you are. So let's start with that real quick. Where are you regionally located at?
I am from the north of England, which explains my accent, but I live in the south of England. I made a move.
So south of England, is there like any landmarks? Like I know, or like special lingo? I knew there was one that I think it was Chicory that I was talking with that had like a specific English dialect.
Well, because I'm from the north and my accent hasn't changed since I've moved, people quite often know that I'm from either the north of England or Scotland or somewhere in that area. So obviously down here, I'm very much a foreigner. I sound completely different to everyone that I'm around. It's a little bit scary. I'm definitely a foreigner down here. But yeah, I don't really know the local phrases because I don't really understand most of the people down here either.
Have you always spent your time in England? Have you traveled abroad at all? Have you ever been to the United States?
A little bit of traveling, but never been over to the United States. It's funny you should mention that. I was talking about half an hour before you did this with a friend who is on about setting up a Boston Live. And I am really tempted to sort of visit the United States and at the same time sort of time it around one of the live events. So who knows? I could be visiting the United States relatively quickly.
It would be kind of cool. If you ever do and you're ever nearby in the Midwest or Central, like Wisconsin area, just let me know, man. Could have a pint together. Is that right? Did I say that right?
You did well there. That was excellent.
I remember I did when I traveled through England, beautiful country. When I was prior military, I went through Mildenhall and Newport, I think was the city. But it's a fun place to be, and I remember not understanding the pound and like you can have a dollar, the equivalent of a dollar in a coin form. And I remember just like plopping a whole hand full of coins down in front of the bartender. I'm like, just give me whatever's English. And she was like showing me, I'm not ripping you off. Here's the money. And she gave me an Irish car bomb, which I think I got juped on.
No, we're a strange place because some traditions it's crazy in this country. I mean, some of them are like 100 years or more old. Lots of things move quickly, but it's just the odd thing that doesn't move forward. It's really strange. Do
you like blood sausage? Because that I find strange.
Yeah, that is definitely strange. No, that's not my favorite. I won't lie.
So let's transition a little bit prior to because I view you as pretty well known around the community and different aspects of the community. But before Clash of Clans, since that's pretty much what we talked through, was there any other games that you were into? Other consoles, arcade games, anything like that?
Yeah, I've always been into games. I really enjoy them. I'm quite big on sort of god games, like your Civilizations, things of that nature. But I was also, I got not just deep, I got super deep in World of Warcraft. That really took me out of it. And then I kind of came away from these games. I realised like how much I was putting into them. But then Clash of Clans sort of drew me back in, and I'm pretty addicted to this. You know yourself. I'm online quite a lot with it. So yeah, But I mean, I enjoy all games. I really do. Like, went and played an old school Space Invaders arcade game, and I must have been on it for like 2 hours. Just happy as can be. Couple of beers with my massive Space Invaders game. Like it was one of the old school arcade games. I play anything.
What about Civilization games? Age of Empire? Did you get into that as well?
A little bit, but I was more into the turn-based ones. I have played Age of Empire and Warcraft, the basics of those, but I was much more into... I remember Command and Conquer as well. That was a lot of fun.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, definitely more the turn-based ones. A nice Sunday afternoon, sat there, build up my empire, destroy everybody else's. It's right up my street.
Right on. So tell me about your... before one last personal question, without ulcing you too much. Before we lead into the meat and potatoes of really the heart of why I wanted you to have a discussion with you, amongst other reasons, Clash Cup and things. But I view this as your full-time job. You might disagree, you might agree, but you do a crap ton of work, man. Just time alone. Promoting, just your time alone to covering as well. What do you do besides Clash of Clans for dare I say, a job? Do you have a job, Adam?
No, it's a fair question because I spend more time on Clash than I do working, which is probably concerning. However, I've been quite blessed. I was doing a job where basically I worked from home, and the amount of hours that I was actually required to do, and I wasn't sort of ducking and diving, I did everything that I was asked, but it would only take me sort of 18, 20 hours a week, which left me a lot of free time to get more involved with Clash. And that was basically almost like a point of contact, like an out of hours point of contact. That's why I stay up quite late into the night, because obviously it's out of hours. So the company that I work for prefers me to be up at those times, because obviously England's 9 till 5. So anytime I'm up in the evening or into the night, that really helps them. And basically people would contact and I would decide what to do. So if someone was having technical problems in a company, I would either, if it was really simple, I would help them immediately, or I would be able to email it on to a colleague so then they could deal with that immediately. Or if it was a big emergency, I could wake somebody up to get it done. You know what I mean? I just sort of decided, prioritizing, maybe that's the best word to put it, to decide what needs doing and what can wait till morning sort of thing. Because you know what it's like. Every company thinks their smallest problem is the biggest problem in the world. So I get to make that judgment.
I like that's so true, though. That's very well stated. You do a ton of work, and we're about to get there, but I want to lead up to that. That I keep hinting at how much work you do, because I know the listeners that there's a fair amount of listeners to this video that already know the things that you're involved with, and those that have no idea who you are. So I want to lead up to the stuff that you're involved with, and also maybe flesh out some things people probably don't know that you're involved with. So you tell us your story. Everybody has one about how you found the Clash of Clans game. How did you pick it up? And then leading into how did you get to what I know you where I first met you in the game wise as part of Reddit Omega, and I specifically I found you like in our community from your RIP Time2Clash video. So leading up to that.
No, that's fair. So like I said, I came away from games. They were taking up too much of my life. And then I also play football, what you Americans would call soccer.
Okay, yeah. I was confused there.
So I've always played that from a young age. And same group of friends, basically. We're all best mans at weddings and all, you know what I mean? It's a really close group of friends. And they are not gamers at all. They have no clue about games in any way. So there we are. We usually sort of roll up on either Saturdays or Sundays, because that's when the big Premier League matches are. We'd all watch them around at one of them's houses. Even if we're not playing football, we'd be watching it. So we were doing that. And then I went around one time, and two of my best friends are sat there glued to the phones. They're two kids who are 7 and 5. They were also on their phones doing the same thing. I'm like, what are they all doing? And they're on Clash of Clans. I mean, this is sort of just over 2 years ago. So they're sat there, one of them's chapping away because his wizards have just hit level 4, which I had no idea what it meant at the time. But and I'm like, what are you doing, you set of geeks, sort of thing. Like, and they were like, oh, you've got to get into this. You've got to get into this. And I was like, no, I've been addicted to games before. I'm not going down this road again. Anyway, this carried on for sort of about 4 or 5 weeks. And then eventually I was drunk, and that's what happened. I downloaded it, and then that was it. I was lost into the world of Clash of Clans. And obviously I played with them for about 3 or 4 months. But again, because I had gaming experience and because I do take things quite seriously, it wasn't long before I was aiming at levels much, much higher than them, even though they'd been on it a lot longer. And it was around about that time that I started watching the Jake videos. It's Jake from One Hive. It's his fault that I'm in this community. And I loved the work that he was doing. And I put in an application for Alpha or for any of the One Hive clans, to be honest, and couldn't believe it. I got accepted on my Town Hall 8. I was really shocked. I didn't expect to get in. So I got in, and then obviously worked my way through. Did a couple of wars with One Hive and Prime, but mainly sort of with Genesis. And that's sort of how I got into the war community. Never really looked back from there. Obviously, I went to a couple of different clans, including, like you mentioned, Reddit Omega. And then in Reddit Omega, that's when I started doing a little bit of YouTube and a little bit of streaming, but I'll be honest with you, I never really did it big time, and I didn't truthfully really know what I was doing. I was just recapping a couple of wars and streaming a couple of wars without really understanding what I was doing. And that led up to the RIP video, which I'm going to guess you've got a couple more questions about, so I'll bounce back to you.
Well, yeah, I mean, I don't mean to position it in a way that it's like controversy, but no, I know that there was I can relate to a lot of what you said about, like, you didn't really know what you're doing, you're just kind of doing it. I think everyone, for the most part, starts out to some level of degree like that. and I really think that you did a great job, and I've actually seen some of your recap videos, and I know that you eventually started to gravitate or lean more towards on streaming. The RIP video was really just more so of you. I know some people, they're probably going to go watch it now unless you took it down already, but what I liked about it is that you had some honesty. You're like, hey, look, this is me. This is my opinion. And I was thinking about this in the car, totally unrelated to our conversation, man. But some people might say, or have the view of your video of saying, hey, I've made this decision in my life. I need to put it down. I'm done for the reasons that you have. And sometimes those things change. And here we are now with some of the things that you're doing that we're about to get into. But you had a disagreement that some people might even call it shade. And I'm just, my personal opinion, I kind of don't like that. I feel that sometimes our war community, and maybe it's just the way our society is in general, and it spills over into social media, but heaven forbid that you say something that's not within line of the mainstream, or not, you go a little bit against the grain because it's something of how you feel. I appreciated the honesty. You laid it out there. I didn't disagree with it. I was sad to see someone that put in time and effort into videos leave, but I'm really glad that you came back. And so we don't have... if you wanted to comment about the video, you're more than welcome to. But really, I just wanted to more so. The reason that I brought it up was that's actually how I found you. I don't know who mentioned to me about the video, but I did listen to it. And at the time that you made it, things are much different now. I personally could relate to some of the things that you were saying. And then fast forward, you came back to the game and you showed up at One Hive, and I was like, new phone, who this? I was like, this guy. Your accent very separates you. Everybody has distinct features. Whenever you meet them in person, you meet me in person, you'd be like, that dude's ginormous. He's 6'7". But in the game, we don't get to see each other. So we have other things, the way that we talk, and in yours, it's your accent. And I thought Rigoletto, that you do experience, and when you do segments on Rigoletto's weekly podcast of the Bye Forever show, and he was doing your Sean Connery accent, and that's how you're very distinct. Like even on people listening here, your accent you mentioned earlier. That's why I was asking where you were from, and I couldn't help it. I kind of gravitated to you. You seem like a stand-up guy, but if you wanted to say something on that, it's fine. Otherwise, if you wanted to maybe lead with the carry on with the other question of, what do you prefer to do more, that you gravitate more towards, and why? Streaming or YouTube videos?
With the video, I did leave it up. I nearly took it down, but it wasn't a cry for attention, and it wasn't a fake. I wasn't taking a break. In my head, I was done with the game, and when I actually made that video, I'd already been gone a week by that point. And when I say gone, I mean I'd not even logged in to empty my collectors. And as any Clash player knows, even when you're unhappy or you've had a bad time or anything else, you still log in twice a day to empty your collectors. It's just the done thing. And I honestly did not touch a single account. And the only reason I made the video is because I was getting a hell of a lot of DMs. And I honestly thought that making the video would probably clarify a few things. Because like I said, it wasn't just one thing. It wasn't the disagreement with Reddit or maybe it wasn't my feelings about sort of CWL direction. It wasn't even about modding or anything. It was like everything put together had kind of got to me at once.
Yeah.
And so I left it up there because I like it as a reminder to myself as well. Like, why did I leave? Why did I come back?
Yeah.
Now, the One Hive thing was quite by chance. It's Kway. I've known Kway for a long time. And
you call him Kway.
It's his name.
No, it's not. It's Quay, not Kway. It's Quay.
No, it's Kway. I got corrected on that. I made a video once and called him Quay and got told I did it wrong.
Tell us in the comments who's correct. I say it's Quay. Adam says it's Kway. Okay, carry on. Carry on.
Well, it's interesting about that because his second account, I've always called K all the time. And I've known, like I said, I've known Kway for over a year now and played with him and videoed him a lot, you know what I mean? Because he's been in clans that I've been in. And only like a few weeks ago did someone tell me it was chow time. I was just like, what? Nobody had told me that in about a year. I was like, thanks, guys. So yeah, you could be right, but I'm sure that somebody corrected me because I tried to call him Quay or Quay or Quay or something, and I got corrected that it was supposed to be Kway. So now I'm more curious. Have I been led down the wrong path on that one?
I'm going to be honest. I think it's the same, man. I really think we're saying the same things. I'm just combining the first letter because it's, you know, It's his name. It's Kevin, and then in Way. It's definitely not Kwai. That's what Powerbang says. It's Way. Way is how you pronounce that second part. I'm just adding the K onto it, so we can. I think we're both right. You're saying it right.
But yeah, I'm going to check that now. You've got me wondering. But yeah, and he spoke to me and said, you know, come back to One Hive sort of thing. Obviously, you have to do your trials and stuff again, but it'll be a really good opportunity. And I'd never thought I was going to go back to One Hive, and yet I'd always wanted to. And it was almost just like perfect because I was clearly missing the game. I streamed for LexCorp and I streamed another relatively small war, no offense to the clans, but I just kind of streamed it as a favor to somebody. Two people asked me who've both been decent to me in the past, oh, is there any chance you could stream this? I know you've retired, but could you just do a couple of hours sort of thing? I was like, yeah, man, I like to give back, especially to people that have been good to me. So I did it with no intentions of coming back. And as soon as I did it, I was missing it. There was no doubt, but I couldn't see a link that would get me from sort of A to B. And then when KOA came along, he's like, yeah, man, let's make this happen. I was just like, wow, there's my link. Like, I've no excuse now. I'm going to a clan that I love and always have loved. I mean, like I said, it's the clan that got me into the community. It was almost too perfect. And obviously, and you were streaming a little bit at that point, but nobody else was really streaming there. So I was able to stream quite a lot. Everything about it was just right. So I came back and then I didn't even think about it. Like, it was just, as soon as I was there, I was as happy as could be. Like, me and you were working well together. The clan was going from strength to strength in the CWL, but not only that, but community-wise, it felt good to be there as well. Just everything, you know what I mean? It was just, I can't be happier with it. So yeah, that's how I got back involved. And then, like you said, I did sort of lean more towards the streaming side. I think that might have been partly because of you, because obviously you were doing
I'm sorry.
But I didn't regret that in any way, because I already knew that I liked the streaming a lot. I think that the interaction and everything else, and obviously, I mean, I could hear from your background, nice. You have a lot of responsibilities, and that doesn't always make streaming that easy. So YouTube makes more sense because YouTube can work around you, whereas streaming, yeah. So I've no children, I'm single, you know what I mean. So streaming suits me quite well. I can pick it up anytime. If One Hive gets a big match, I can dive in. If One Hive doesn't get a match for a couple of days, it's no problem either. Sort of thing. I am quite flexible, and I think that suits the streaming more, if that makes sense.
It does. I think you found a niche just from the outside looking in, and I couldn't echo enough that the people think that it's one-sided view about working well with you, how you came back. Hey, are you streaming this or not? Are you covering this in a recap? It's always been a pleasure here, and I'm really just my own personal humble opinion. I thought you meshed really well coming into the clan, and it's a joy to war with you, man, and be a part of the One Hive with you. Not only that, but just pushing the war community. I mean, we have talked before about certain things, and I think it's a pleasure to have met you and to be able to work with you on different aspects. Speaking of which, let's talk about the headline of what the title is going to basically be, Clash Cup, because you were pushing me to do it. I'm like, man, there's no way, I don't even have time. And you were super passionate about Clash Cup, and I'm going to be fully transparent. I didn't really see it. I did not see the path you did. I mean, I participated in front of with Clash Bash with, I believe, Envy, and I was roped into it with a few other One Hive people, and I did have a lot of fun. And then you're like, okay, Clash Cup, and I personally did not see that way forward that you hear, Jake, from One Hive raids as well as you, and you were super passionate about this Clash Cup. So I see it now. I really do. And that's when I was like, I had questions myself. I didn't know who came up with it. And so then that's why I was led to you, and I wanted you to get a platform to talk through it. So can you walk me through how Clash Cup was born, where it was, and where it's heading?
Well, the very quick history is a couple of guys, Storm Vapor, MV, and Tybo, roughly speaking, got together. And I mean, it's all spawns from the fact that the arranged war mechanic got put in with the shorter timers. So those guys got together and chatted about it, and they pretty quickly set up Clash Bash. I got involved sort of a week after it. I was only there to start off as a streamer, but I mean, I've got so many ideas for these things. It wasn't long before I was sort of involved on the admin side. However, very quickly, Clash Bash sort of went to a long format. They basically did a mini war. That's what they were doing. They were doing sort of 16, 20, 24-hour wars with smaller numbers of people, which was cool, don't get me wrong, but it was never what I imagined for it. I've always wanted that esport element, that faster, shorter war. So when Clash Bash had some drama and everybody fell out, I mean, literally, like, instantly, I was like, right, I'm not giving up on this. I still believe in the small team format, but what I want to do is do the short format. And again, what really triggered us on this is, by that point, you'd already seen the 5v5 that happened in Finland, where the 5 guys from Reddit Omega and the 5 guys from Dark Looters went over and did that war. And it was like, this is awesome. This is a format that we can use. Because again, the Dark Looters 1 Hive final was amazing. We all loved it, but you only saw 8% of the war. What if you could show the full war in one of those live events? And that's the goal of Clash Cup. That is the end goal, to get one of these events either in Finland or somewhere else, but live streamed 5v5, where you see the war start, the war finish, every single attack in between. You've got PB sat up there doing his commentary, you know, and this has always been the dream of it. So yeah, that's what it's all about. Now we're just released signups for our 4th event, so they're out now. And every time we've done something slightly different, and that's always going to be the plan. We don't want to find the perfect format. We want to keep changing it, keep doing new things. So like last time, it was the Need for Speed, the Town Hall 9 event, where the guys just crazy 7 and 8 minute wars, but they were a hell of a lot of fun. Now, if we did that every week, yeah, they'd be fun, but people would lose interest, and that's the idea. We're just keeping it fluid, keep trying new things, keep throwing new things out there. Some will be more successful than others, that's inevitable. But again, all of it is just to give people something different to CWL. We don't want to compete with CWL. CWL is awesome. However, we do want to keep more people in the game, more people excited and interested. We even have some people in Clash Cup that have pretty much retired from the game, and they're only playing Clash Cup. They just come out, do a couple of Clash Cup wars, and then barely log on again because they don't have either time or even excitement for the other sides of the game. And that's exactly what we want it to be. Just the more people are playing this game, for whatever reason, the bigger the community is and the better for the game it is. That's, again, it's all part of the goals.
So there's a lot of things you said that I just wanted to get behind it and then enhance a little bit and echo, if I may. So for those 5-on-5, it's usually like an hour long. The ones that I participated with, there's 2 things I really, really liked about this, and I just wanted to echo it even more. The first thing is that it's an hour long, and I may get, people may disagree, like I'm really disconnected with this comment, but I'm going to say it anyway. The likelihood of somebody building your base and going over somewhere else to burn against it is not as high as a 24-hour opportunity to do the same. So for me, I know I may seem really disconnected, but it's a romantic notion, and I want to say it. I feel like it actually helps prevent that aspect of the game that still happens in our community too. Like with the shortened war time frame, you simply do not have time to try to maybe engage in devious tactics. That's what I'll say. I'm not saying it's happened everywhere, but the short time frame is what I liked about it. The other part is that some rules that you put on there that I really, really liked. With the first one was 10s and 11s. You couldn't dip. I really like that. So, what we didn't see a lot of in the current, a lot of hype and push out there with the CWL, with, 11 on 11s, you didn't really quite see it too often. But on the Clash Cup, you saw it all the freaking time because it was part of the rules. And it also made some different strategies, like who are you going to hit? If you can't dip, things like that. You can always hit up. So I just thought it added a whole new strategy to that. So where can people find out, just to put, where can people find out information about Clash Cup if they're interested in it?
Yeah, we have our Plex Chat server. Again, Plex Chat sponsor each of the events, so we're trying to work with them. They put up $1,000 for each event that we have, and there's sort of just about one event every month, so we cannot shout out enough the fantastic support we're getting from them. We also have a Discord server, and we're on Twitter. It's probably easier if I drop you the links so you can put them in the description if you don't mind.
Absolutely. That's exactly what I'll do. The links and additional information for it will be in the video description as well as your Twitch channel and your YouTube channel as well. And one thing you mentioned as well there about the short format, the other advantage of that is, so for example, in the 5-man wars that are 2 hours long, you get your 5 guys on on any voice program, whether it be TeamSpeak or Discord or whatever, at the start of the war, and it's the same 5 that are on it throughout. So you get the real sort of experience of going through it as a team, whereas like in the CWL war, you might have a guy who's on for the first 6 hours helping do the war generaling, then he'll pass over to someone else and pass over to someone else. Whereas again, even on the voice element, you get everyone on there. So it's a real sort of team effort from the first minute to the last minute. And again,
it's not designed to compete with CWL. It's just offering a different way to do it.
I like it. I really do. And I also think it's harmonious with YouTubers I'm sorry, Twitch streamers. I really do. The shortened format, you know, you can make an event of it. I really think it, as opposed to like regular wars that are 24 hours long, so you have to do I mean, it's doable. We did it for it was done for the finals last season, but it's you know, there's a lot more coordination that has to go involved as opposed to the shortened format. It really works well with the harmonious nature of streamers. And I know that it's a symbiotic relationship. You know, we got YouTubers and streamers that get our content out there, that push the community forward. But then you also have, you know, people that are like, oh, my base is burned because everybody can see it. Well, you can't have your cake and eat it too. You know, you want to push it forward. It just kind of goes without saying. You've done more than just Clash Cup. So you've gotten you've recently, there's been some recent changes that I wanted to give you a chance to speak about. But my understanding is I alluded to it earlier, you have a stint or a segment on Rigoletto's Buy Forever podcast, which is very increasing. If you can speak a little bit about that and how that came to be. And then also something recently happened for you that's a big moment in the Twitch community as well.
Yeah, I am probably involved in a few too many things. I will admit this. But
like I said, super hardworking.
Yeah, I enjoy things, to be honest. And I have to admit that one thing that I'm lacking is I don't really play enough at the minute. That's something I need to fix. That balance has gone a little bit wrong. However, I have the countdown show that we do on Twitch, the CWL countdown, which I absolutely love. I am involved with the Rigoletto podcast. I enjoy that a lot because I guess a lot of what I do is quite serious. And so sometimes it's nice to go on the Rig show where even though I go on there to talk about the more serious stuff, there is a lot on that show that is a little bit less serious. Rig is a crazy guy. I love some of the things he does. You know what I mean? It's just his passion for it all is awesome. And I think, again, what people forget about Rig is no matter how much he likes to hear the truth, he likes the drama, you know, he likes people to be able to say what they want. He does love the community and he does love CWL. And, you know, he loves anything like that. You know, he's kind of a bit of an enigma like that. Sometimes it looks like he's trying to destroy things, but he's not. It's like his criticisms and his approach to things is only because he wants it to be better. Like, and it's I don't think people always understand that about him, and I think that's why I'm on there. Like, if he was there to cause damage, I wouldn't be there. But because I know that, you know, heart of hearts, he wants the truth out there, so then people can improve on it. That's why I go on that show. And obviously, I'm mainly there to talk about CWL because I'm quite passionate about it. I love all the matches, even though obviously I'm in One Hive, I'm in War and Glory, but I mean, all 32 clans I've got much love for, and you know, I'm always interested in what's happening. So I think that's why he has me on there. And obviously, I do quite a lot of work with the CWL now. I'm a media coordinator. I have a technical title, and I've only just taken that on. But one of the big things that I want to do is start coordinating more media creators together, because you touched on it at the start of this video. There will be some people who listen to you that don't know who I am and probably don't really know too much about the CWL. And as awesome as the media is inside the CWL, the big dream is to get more of it out there. We had the war against the LHG side a couple of weeks ago. It's another thing that I'm involved with, arranging these event wars. And we had the war against the LHG, which was an awesome war. But I mean, there's communities much, much bigger than ours out there that we don't realize. And we probably are one of the best, if not the best, fair play community. However, does everybody know that? Probably not. So I want to spread the word about that. I want people to, from all levels of the game, from all languages for that matter, to look at the CDL and think, wow, that's the apex of the fair play game. That's the dream. So one of my big roles will be to help get more media out there, not just within our community, but to outside of it as well.
Well, I think you're doing a stand-up job. I mean, you just to agree with you. You can hear it in your voice when you do pick'ems. You really do. You can hear it in your voice. You're passionate. What I'm amazed with, and this is no blowing smoke your way, man. What I'm amazed with is I do believe you. If you're not as honest as what I'm saying, you're a really good actor. But I don't believe. I'm convinced. I can hear it in your voice, your sincerity and passion for the game, as well as the movement that it's evolved towards with everything that we just got done talking about here. You can hear it in the pickings, and where I'm mostly amazed with is your knowledge of other freaking clans. I'm going to be honest, no disrespect to any of the clans that I don't know of, and there's like Concha. I know nothing about them. You ask me anything about them, I know nothing. I know they're in the CWL, but you know a level of detail of each clan. Not even just in the CWL, just you have a wide view of it. You're in the Clash community and War community specifically. That I'm just amazed how much you know and are familiar with. But I know that comes with some of the things that you're involved with. But at the end of the day, it still amazes me. A good analogy that I'm trying to convey would be, you know, in basketball, they do have basketball. And where you guys at? Did they call it something funny? Like, no? It's basketball, basketball?
You asked me what I was doing before, and while I was playing World of Warcraft, my main job was a basketball coach, would you believe? So, yeah, I do know what it is.
All right, they still call it basketball. All right, cool. But it's like they talk about basketball IQ of, like, guards and stuff. You know, like it's not just the stats they do; it's other things. Their IQ of the game. That's what I'm trying to. Your IQ of the War and Clash community is pretty impressive. That's what I've always noticed. So I want to say thank you. Thank you for that and everything that you're doing to push it forward. Thank you for the Clash Cup and all the work that you're doing there, as well as streaming all the One Hive Wars and all those things. And you're absolutely right. Not everybody knows about these things because I have my own personal clan, AintNobody, and I have some people have asked me, like, what is Clash Cup? What is Clash Bash? And then they've asked me, how can I get involved? Which is why that main reason why I wanted you to get on here so people know more, put more awareness out there. Plus, I also wanted to know more about you and things like that. And then, of course, I think somebody needs to say thanks out loud to you. So, and thanks for taking time out of your day right now. Like, this is the start of your work, your job all weekend long, streaming the wars. So I'm taking time out of your day to talk to me, you know, on a brutally honest. So I just want to say thank you, man. I really appreciate those things.
Nobody ever has to say thank you to me, and mainly because I love what I'm doing. I really do. Somebody actually asked me, I think it was Tate asked me once, he said, you know, does streaming ever feel like a job? And no, it never does. Now, maybe it will going forwards. Maybe there'll be one time where I wake up and I'm like, oh, I really don't want to do this, but I've not hit that point yet. And everything that I do, whether it's doing the pick'ems with Rig, whether it's streaming, whether it's talking to you, I really enjoy it. I mean, to be honest with you, before you asked me about this, I was thinking I've not really spoke to you for a little bit. And I had a few questions for you that I was going to ask you.
Oh, no, you didn't. I was trying to dodge these.
But I thought, well, I might as well just ask you on here. I mean, I'm sure that people out there might want to ask you these questions as well. So I thought, well, what I could do. And the most simple one I want to ask you is, what are your goals? What's your plans on YouTube right now? I know what series you've got, obviously, because I watched some of them. But I mean, like, where do you see the YouTube going in the next 3 months? What kind of things do you want to do?
Oh, my gosh. You're a punk. All right, fair enough. You know I can edit this stuff out, right?
I'm aware, but I might be recording it as well. This is the problem when you've got people on that have got the software.
All right, fair enough. Good question. I started the channel because I wanted to help people, and I did in real life, and then professionally in professional real life. That's what drives me as a person, and so I see it always, you know, attack strategy videos, cleanup videos that basically talk about things that you and I and everybody else at the level of the game that we play take for granted. I'm gonna probably keep doing them. I really I know they're helpful. There's always a new clasher out there that doesn't know these things, and they don't know what they don't know unless someone shows them. So I'm gonna be doing. I see the future of still being a informational, I guess, video, but it can never be a job. I do literally, like you said, you enjoy streaming. I really enjoy making those kinds of videos. So I will keep doing those things, and I really have fun doing them. I like to have fun doing them, so I can see some satire videos coming out. Like, I really want to do a Donald Trump clashes video. I'm not kidding. Like, with these huge troops, beautiful troops, so much winning. The Hog Riders coming over the wall with bringing all their hammers and their smiles, you know, stuff like that. I really want to do that. But aside from that, I don't see myself stopping. It's yeah, aside from that, I do have a desire to propel my own personal clan that I started 2 years ago. It was started with the desire, as my kid comes out here, with the desire to bring it to the level of One Hive and all the clans that are out there in the CWO. I want them to be a part of that as well. They've shown that desire, and we've made recent changes to get there. And a lot of the reasons why we are able to make changes and growth is because of the channel. So I see that, you know, basically more of the same. I don't see burnout coming out anyway like that. If that wasn't expecting this question. If that answers your question, I'll just leave it like that.
Yeah, no, it's cool. I mean, you know what it's like as well with media. Things change relatively quickly. The videos that you do, even the streams that you do. I mean, it is relatively fluid. You can't get stuck in one place. So I'm always curious what people are doing, especially yourself, because we haven't spoken as much these last couple of weeks.
Woo, hold on a second. We might have to. This part I might cut out. We're almost there. Although, did you have any other questions for me right away, or I have some safe ones for you?
I've always got more questions. Don't you worry.
Go ahead. If you have anything else that you wanted to corner me with, now's the time, buddy.
Well, since I do a lot of work on predictions, obviously I'm not going to ask you for sort of individual predictions, but could you name your final four for the CWL winner?
Oh, this is a great question, and no one's ever asked me that. It's gonna be cliche. Oh, whatever. I lost connection in it. That's fine. It's gonna be cliche, and I don't care. But it's War Whales. I do see War Whales in the final four. I don't know which brackets they're in, but I think I gotta be One Hive. They just have a history of organizing wins, and what I know them as is they're strong finishers. Always strong finishers. Of course, everybody has a bad day, bad week. That just happens. But what I know One Hive to be is extremely strong finishers. So that's why I think no matter what we face, we'll get to the final four. War Whales, of course. Dark Looters is in the same area we are. I think they come out of the same conference, so I believe we could face them. Dark Looters and One Hive. I think the Swarm is also at War Whales side, so it'd be the Swarm, War Whales, just like last season. The Swarm, War Whales, Dark Looters, and One Hive. War Whales roster just got extremely deep. I mean, they're 6-0. I can't say nothing bad about them at all. They're formidable foes. And the same thing echoes for the Swarm. Just well put together. They're stronger than ever. And yeah, Dark Looters lost twice, but I challenge you to look at how they lost. I mean, there were not blowouts. They were very, very close wars that came down to percentage breakers as well as like the last attack. I mean, and that could have easily swung in the direction of Dark Looters, and Dark Looters could be 6-0 right now, which is why I feel that way.
No, that all makes sense. And again, yeah, you're right. I think the Swarm are very impressive as well. And obviously with Spartan's Legacy dropping off a little bit, if there was going to be one change to the Final Four, you would expect it to be Spartan's Legacy. And Swarm is a very valid clan to take that space. So yeah, I mean, yeah, I agree with everything that you're saying. Although, I mean, it's just, even now we're going into week 7, it's so early to tell. It's crazy. Yeah,
there's a lot of, like, that. Anything can happen. Like, I don't think anybody would have suspected. Not to bring up bad topics again, but I don't think anybody would have suspected beast mode. You know what I'm saying? Like, anything can happen down the raids. I hope it doesn't. I hope we don't have any more quote unquote scandals. But that's just. But I think as it stands right now, if the Final Four was tomorrow, that still would be my Final Four picks, and for those reasons. And please don't ask me who's going to win them all, because I really don't know.
No, you've got to. You've got to pick one.
I see War Whales and One Hive in the finals. That's what I think.
You think that One Hive will get vengeance in the conference final then?
With Dark Looters? I do.
Yeah.
I do.
Oh, that would be good. I'll be honest with you, obviously, as Team One Hive, not only do I think that would be an awesome matchup, but what a feeling it would be to beat them to get there. Kind of don't want anybody else to take Dark Looters out. I want that final. That's the conference final that I want.
That is so true. That is so true. And, you know, I was a little disappointed that they put us in the same conference. But at the same respect, you know, I can kind of... It's hard to argue that, because look at the other side with War Whales and the Swarm, the same argument. You know, you can never have a perfect conference. But I think historically they try to put the better decision is to keep the final teams in different conferences for the next season, just in case they get a rematch of the finals kind of deal. I think is what they should have done.
Yeah, I agree. I would have liked to have seen the conference finalists in the, the grand finalists on separate sides of the conference. I will be honest, it's definitely an idea I've put forward. I mean, that's one of the things I'm doing with this media coordinator role, is kind of putting out some ideas there that people might like, some things that they don't make a big difference structurally, but for people watching, that's what they want to see. They want that chance of a repeat final. Now, whether it'll happen or not doesn't really matter, but it's just that opportunity that it could happen. It would have been awesome. However, it is what it is. And like I said, it'll still be a mega conference final. Obviously, War Wheels, Swarm on the other side, not to mention people like Dark Looter Z, Fate Wargasm. I mean, there's tons of good clans that are knocking on that door as well. So, I mean, whatever happens, it's going to be mega.
Yeah, I wouldn't sleep on any clan in the CWL. Like, I watch all the prediction videos, and I don't disagree with any of them saying, because it's their opinion, And you're welcome to say, like, I disagree with those picks. That's fine. But I think the opinion videos are great. But in them, they're like, oh, I would not pick this one over that guy or this thing or the other thing. And some people are like, oh, why would you say that? Like, they're a great clan. That's just the thing. They're all great, but somebody has to win and lose. And at the end of the day, I think in any match. That's what's also beautiful about this game, is anybody could win. I don't think anybody would have suspected Immoral Thieves to win. Like, I think there's a large over Dark Looters like they did. I think there was a large portion of the community that would basically say, no, Dark Looters will pull it out. There's very few in between that would say, no, Immoral Thieves are going to do this. You know what I mean? The surprises can happen. And that's what's so beautiful about this. Kind of like last season with Spartan Legacy. Losing to wasn't it the Swarm lost to Spartan's Legacy, or was it the other way around?
Yeah, Legacy beat Reddit Omega. That was a huge war.
Yeah, didn't expect that to happen.
I would say, I don't know. It was tough at that point. The road that Legacy took was unbelievable. Reddit Omega, then Swarm, then Dark Looters. I mean, it was like just wow, really. Just what an incredible set of matches that they had. It was. I mean, all three of those were potential finals in themselves, and so to have to go through all the playoffs to get to that point was just like incredible.
So let's ask some before you ask me more hard questions that I'm not prepared for. And that one starts crying more because my wife's looking at me like, you need to be done. I still like Disney movies, and you strike me as a Disney movie fan. What is your favorite Disney cartoon movie? And before I said any Disney movie, I want specific cartoon movie.
I'm going to cheat on this question. I'm going to be honest. I don't particularly like Disney movies. However, I will give you a different answer, though. The Neuschwanstein Castle, which is the German castle that's basically the Disney logo is based on, is the most incredible place in the world. Have you been there? I've not been yet. I have plans to go. But honestly, even just seeing a picture of it just lights up my day. It's mega. It's been my desktop background of things. It really is an amazing place. And so that's my love of Disney. That castle is my love of Disney.
That's cool that you knew it. That you actually knew what the castle was. That's pretty impressive. If it wasn't a Disney cartoon movie, what was your childhood memory movie? Like, there had to have been a movie all the time. Like for example, my little Kalani, it's always Pia for that's what we always hear in the background. Pia, what show we watch? Pia for Zootopia. She's all into Zootopia. And when I grew up as a little kid, you can laugh at this all you want, man, but it was all about Sean Connery and James Bond and Roger Moore. I loved all the James Bond movies. I've seen all 54, whatever of them. I love James Bond with Miss Moneypenny. I mean, absolutely love it. So my childhood movies was James Bond. What was yours? What was your childhood movie that you grew up with that you can recall that was really special to you?
Wow, that is a question. Probably Braveheart. I think Braveheart was the one that I would have watched more. I mean, that was just an amazing movie. It really was, and still is. Even if you watch it now, I mean, it does look a little dated, but still, it doesn't look bad at all. And it's just incredibly good. I can't even begin to sing the praises enough about it. It's just a really,
What's your
really
favorite
good
part
movie.
Of that movie? What's your favorite part of that one?
Oh man. when he rides the horse into that castle to take vengeance on the nobles that screwed him over, it was just like
with the mace.
Yeah, it's just like you knew what was going to happen, but you couldn't take your eyes off it. It's just like this is a guy that he's been wronged and he's going to get his own back, and it was just the way he did it. I mean, just riding a horse into someone's castle is just like, yeah, great stuff.
Yeah, straight into your room, like, what's up, son? And then he jumped out the window with the horse too.
Yeah, absolutely. It was just like, wow. And obviously back then, like there wasn't the same special effects that there are these days and things. So I mean, stuff like that was just like breathtaking. Because I mean, it must be. I bet that movie's 15 years old, if not more now. Like it's, you know, it was just an awesome movie in that scene. Especially, it was just like, yeah, you're getting what's coming to you.
Yeah, I do like that movie. I would have to agree with you there too. But you just kind of shocked me that was your favorite childhood movie. Right on. So, is there anything that you wanted to share or say that I haven't asked you about?
No, like I said, I mean, for anybody that's listening, we didn't plan any of this. It was all pretty random. So yeah, I mean, it was really good to talk about all these topics with you. Like I said, I'm excited to know what you're planning to do on YouTube because I like the work that you do. And obviously I love, I always, even when I'm streaming now, I always love it when I see you go live because, you know, you're one of the guys I know a little bit better. So I feel it's really weird as a streamer, but you do feel that little bit more personally involved when it's a guy you know really well. And it's like, yeah, I want to see this attack triple. I'm excited to see what you're planning and what you're doing. So yeah, it's good.
Oh, well, thank you. I appreciate that. Well, right on, man. And as always, I'll close this. You guys can catch Adam most of the time. You're going to catch him streaming. So I'll put a link to his Twitch channel, twitch.tv.com/Time2Clash, something like that. Whatever. It'll be in the description as well as his YouTube channel. I'm glad that thing finally went over 1,000. I felt that you were being done a disservice. So it's up to like 1,300. You deserve that. It needs to continue to grow. I also have him in my featured channel list on the top right of the channel. And last but not least, that I wanted to say for him, congratulations on your Twitch partner. Congratulations on that as well, man.
Yeah, thank you. I mean, it came as a bit of a surprise. I wasn't expecting it. I thought that I was going to apply and it would be one of those things where you had to work towards it. But they snapped me up pretty quickly. And obviously, King of the North and Clash with Coward also got partnered, which, again, it's just great news for the community because it just means we're going to get more stuff on Twitch. We get bigger because of that. It's just great. It really is. So, yeah, we're having a good time at the minute. You know, with everything that's going on Twitch, I'm sure you've seen. When are you going to get back on there, by the way? I've been meaning to ask that. That was my last question for you.
Oh, crap. You know what? And it's a good parting one because I promised my personal client, AintNobody, they're doing an arranged war. I believe Monday night is when we're spinning. So I'll send KB, my almost walls left, my Town Hall 9 to that war for that arranged war. I think it's versus Michigan Rose, I believe is who we decided to do. So they've been asking me if I'm going to stream that. I will probably stream the opening of that Monday night, or I'll put it in. I'll make an announcement video about it. It depends on when we actually match. I think we battle Tuesday night. So hopefully Tuesday night is when you'll see me stream again. I'm going to be asking you for some help about how I can watch my stream chat without actually watching my stream because I've been doing that wrong the entire time.
Well, one thing I will say is Michigan Rose, Above and Beyond matched them in the CWL Light, and they were a really good set of guys. They brought quite a lot of people on stream, and they have their little roses that they use instead of the Woo train. So I think you'll enjoy that one. I think it'll be fun for you.
Yeah, well, I like Arranged Wars, and I really am excited for that next evolutional step of a clan that my personal clan is going to make. You know, this is like our first real non-friendly. And not that we're not going to be friendly wars, but I mean, like, this is a legit, like, arranged war. Rather than, hey, let's just get a whole bunch of clans together and do a giant friendly war together. Like, it's really clan versus clan. So, good luck to them if they're going to watch this. I'm really excited to do it. And, yeah, I'll probably stream that one. Try to dust off and try to gain some skills from watching you and getting tips about that.
Not super. I'll definitely hop by and I'll be cheering on your guys against Michigan Rose.
Yeah. All right, well, that'll do it for this episode of Brutally Honest. Once again, it's Adam and Brutus reminding you got to be better than a double, and we will check you next time.